got ourselves team 1 together with Jacinta as a elemental shaman. I like your shield. Is that the rare one or is that like the more common one? That one like spouts out flames, doesn't it? We got ourselves a lazy stab. Lazy on a rogue? On the outlaw? What the? Did you abandon your feral druid? Now you're rogue main? Huh? Revender is a BM hunter. We got Vanguards first up versus Kevin. Trying to see if he can tussle with the muscle. Big wings up and running for the paladin. Immediate fear by Vanguard. But looks like he's the one who's really fearing and fleeing against those holy wings. I mean, it is literally like holy might incarnate coming right out here. Vanguard's trying to see if he can come out of. He has to go for as much kill as he can. Is he going to be able to live this out? It's just absolute might of a retribution paladin. Eye for an eye for Kevin. So he's trying to deny, and it kind of counter damage from Vanguard's all together. Kevin doesn't. Oh, Vanguard's doesn't end up getting a short charge towards Kevin, but it's going to get smacked down completely with them Templars verdicts back to back. Lazy actually was able to swoop in fast enough, able to get an interrupt onto Kevin. Still, Blessing of Protection is up and running for the Paladin, and Lazy is looking for a bit of a reset away from Paladin. Should be able to get it unless, yeah, with that grapple, definitely should be able to get it. There's no way he doesn't catch a reset. On team 2, we got ourselves Jeremex. Absolutely just popping off on the rogue. Played Alliance early, now he's on a Horde. DJ Flex on the Hunter. We got Miss Assault on a... Oh, I like that set. As a Fury, we got Nerzul as well. Lazy going for a bit of a setup versus Kevin. Does land the kidney shot. Look at the pistol shots. How are you playing? A between the eyes pistol shot build, or are you playing that cheesy Vanish build? Looks like you might just be playing like absolutely just dead build. This is going to be Cloak of Shadows. You can only dodge certain abilities from Kevin Landers. The physical damage still goes through. Does have a feint death up and running basically all the time. That's going to be quick and sharp versus Kevin. Flash Scout to follow, trying to go for a bit of a Curium burst, but looks like he's going to be able to disengage for just a second. Should be able to have feint death basically up all the time, especially with the cooldown reduction that Lazy Stab gets. Does the game even give cooldown? Dude, the game doesn't even read cooldown reduction for Lazy Stab. It literally just ignores cooldown reduction for feint. It shows up that feint does... Oh wait, no, it does show cooldown reduction. It's so crazy. He was like, I have 9 seconds of my feint. Slice it, I have feint back up. So he does track it. I was gonna say, maybe he doesn't track it. I wonder why he doesn't track evasion then. Trinket for Kevin as he got some big stun lock on Lazy. Oh, how do you live? Oh, what? Oh no, Kevin. Yo, Kevin is a god. I mean, Kevin Landers is pretty godly, but I meant like Kevin Slime is what finished off that rogue. That was a kidney shot into a blind. There was no outs, and Kevin Slime just did a slash spit. Jesus, Jacinta is just getting absolutely blasted out. Is Kevin taking all that momentum over Retribution Paladin into Jacinta? Not good opportunity to knock back a last second as the bubble falls off. Jacinta is still under pressure. Got himself a little bit of damage. Big Ascendance Brock does come out. Kevin could be in big trouble. Got himself a shield defense in the last second. Definitely needs to go for as much life as possible. Urshak trying to see if he can crack right through that holy shield. Fire Elemental just trying to keep him warm over there. At least if anything, Kevin is going to feel a little bit toasty in case somebody's feeling kind of cold, kind of chilly. Kevin got himself... Actually, I was going to say Fire Elemental, but now it's just an Earth Elemental. Now it's just a cold, hard stone, but it's going to give Jacinta a little bit more of that earthen fortification. Got himself that big defensive to deal with. Kevin going to be lackluster to try to see if he can lock down the Paladin. Hoping for that Ascendance proc again. The Flesh Scout maybe used a little bit earlier. Maybe try to get interrupted on Shadow just so he can go for Lava Burst. Does have Kevin next to him. It's going to be a capacity on him for a second. It's going to send out the pad at Kevin. Could potentially go for a stun of his own. The Earth Elemental. Potentially could give Jacinta an opportunity to get himself a bit of a go. Big Earth Shock, but Kevin does survive it. Flesh Scout to follow, does get interrupted. Is going to be able to Flesh Scout off of it. And Jacinta with Earth Elemental down for the count. Actually, no, it's still there. It just looked like it disappeared. I guess it just walked outside of the coda of Kevin. Just looked like it was gone for a second. But he doesn't have the wall from it anyway. Maybe he can get one more stun with it. Maybe. Kevin, try to see if you can prevent any kind of stuns with a spell, Blessing of Sanctuary, or at least trying to reduce any value of those stuns. Big Lava Burst flying out for Jacinta, putting some pressure onto Kevin. Kevin with that eye for an eye, but they can't really do much against this Lava Burst. That's not really physical damage. I just burns him. Jacinta's just waiting out for the guy to come out, just literally dancing. Does he have a Lava Burst to follow? This is one more Lava Burst and he'll be a good spot. Gonna be like the last one, does get the proc. Gonna be a trick out of Kevin Landers. Gonna knock back for a moment. Jacinta trying to see if he can catch up a little bit of health. Does get himself a slime shield as the dude dip kind of low. Wall up. There's going to be a hot Does get grounded though. So Kevin missing out his stun, still has big wings, so it could still be very, very deadly. Potential lots of damage. Fire Elemental join in. Should be able to get a lot of procs for Lava Burst. Got him some mobility while casting Lava Burst, hoping for them procs. Do they get that Ascendance procs at all? Big damage out of Kevin though, just absolutely swiping out the chamois. Taking them out of the game. Next up, it looks like maybe it's Chicago, maybe it's Revendare. Maybe it's Maybelline, maybe it's Revendare. Kevin Land is trying to see if he can get himself a bit of a reset behind the pillar. Does see the crow at the last second. Stun to follow. Revendare got big damage. Kevin better have a defensive fight. Has a shield defenders, eye for night, everything except for immunities. Definitely, I think he's waiting out until he can get himself a blessing of protection, because if anything, it might be a good defensive versus Revendare. I'm saying might because Revendare can trank shot him, and if the trank shot removes the blessing of protection, it's gone. But if it removes another buff entirely, it's not the worst situation to be in. Getting interrupted on Holy. Does Kevin have Flesh Cap back up? Looks like Revendare is going to trick out a Hodge immediately, throwing down a freezing trap before Revendare can hide behind the boxes, and Revendare trying to find himself a better angle. Eye for an eye, reducing some of the damage taken, as Kevin is still trying to give himself a bit of recovery. That's going to be Seraphim, giving him a little bit of versatility for survivability. Does have blessing protection, doesn't get removed though. Trank shot removes it, so Revendare now has opportunity to take down Kevin Landers, but the Paladin's trying to cook up some burst himself. It looks like he's going to get some Seraphim procs back to back with a tier set. But trying to keep himself alive. That's also going to be a Blessing of Sanctuary, so no stuns that you got to really worry about. This is going to be the full-on Flash Scout. Next auto attack is gonna proc Big Crusade, by the way. Next auto attack could be huge. If he has a Hodge to follow with it, could be a really deadly situation for Revendare. I don't know if they're aware or not. It's gonna be Kevin just trying to recover in health. Has actual wings in case he wants to. He's gonna get wings. Next auto attack is gonna also get a huge Crusade. Looking for big procs. Does he have the damage he needs? It's gonna be Revendare trying to see if he can survive and freeze drop into Kevin. And Revendare barely surviving it. Kevin trick inside of it. Revendare goes for a heal. Looks like there's a little bit of lag going on. He's going to go for that Void Elf Rachel in order to reposition. That's going to be able to disappear out of there completely. Just straight up like X-Men Nightcrawler just disappears out of there just in a puff of smoke. Very roguelike. I love it. Fleshcraft, I think, might have avoided a Hodge. I think he might have immune to Hodge with a Fleshcraft, but the Fleshcraft don't do anything for you. Oh my god, the Paladin Wings damage is so massive. With Chicago trying to go for a bit of an auto duel with Kevin, but Kevin is just so ready to go. He's gun-ho. Eye for an eye up immediately. Chicago eating the Hodge is going to have to get the Ghost Raptors up and running. Got the Ellie Ghost Raptors this time instead of the Ascendance build. Eye for an eye for Kevin for a little bit. Has the bubble back up. So Chicago, ooh, taking a bit of damage from those last verdicts, together with those Divine Storms from the Necrolord Gavel playstyle, or Vanquisher's Hammer. Bubble up for Kevin, trying not to fall behind. Gonna be Hodge in Chicago, but doesn't really have burst to follow. Kevin is gonna have to wait, I think, until the next Crusade proc that he can get. Maybe use together with Shield of Venus to survive it, but definitely needs to let the damage kind of ramp up on him, but also trying to find a way to not fall behind. There's gonna be a Wings proc. I think it was a proc, if not real Wings just now. Should be able to use it to recover a little bit of health. Looks like it was just a proc. Shield advances up on Kevin. It looks like that shield was enough to hold on while he recovers all the health. Maybe he could get a Flesh Cap back up and running soon here. Maybe. Got himself immunity to CC, but it looks like with Chicago, you can't really like stun Kevin that easily. Thunder, maybe could go for a capacitor totem right after. Looks like not gonna go for it. Not gonna go for the interrupt. I think Kevin is trying to see if he can get interrupted on the Holy. Stun in Chicago doesn't really have damage to follow up unless he gets big crit procs with that Vanquisher's Hammer. Big Venture burst out of Chicago, looking for the recovery and damage burst, but looks like wasn't able to get enough of burst into Kevin to pressure him. Also wasn't able to get enough burst healing onto himself ever since they nerfed it by the healing and the damage of their ability by 50%. Kevin got real wings ready to go, but also get a proc of wings. Looks like he's going to send the proc of wings into Ghost Raptors and use that for recovery. Chicago maybe could swing around the corner, try to interrupt it. He's going to send out a lightning bolt, but not really trying to fight Kevin just now. Kevin trying to do everything he's got in order to survive this burst. Does he have a Flesh Cap? I think now if he has a Flesh Cap, then he definitely wants to get interrupted on Holy. Check it out, Chicago takes a lot of damage. Gonna be capacitor totem, but I think it was Z-Axis Tower. That was super unfortunate. Wall for Chicago trying to see if they can take up this damage. Kevin backing up out as he sees his wings falling off and just a little bit. Big heal as the Ellie Blast goes through. Kevin, next auto check is gonna give you wings. That's gonna potentially be a lot of survivability or damage, depending how you play it. Looks like he might be playing him more defensively, trying to get him probably a heal, but Chicago zaps him before he can get himself a Word of Glory. Jeremex is going to be up next unless Jero makes a mistake here. I don't think there's a way that he could lose against Chicago. Chicago just used a lot of defense. Look at that cheese, dude. Just saps him, throws down the grenade chicken, hits him with a stun into the stun. Man, Rogue's a cheese. Chicago loses by last second. Rogue's a cheese, man. Oh my god. Yo, Kevin did really good, by the way. My goodness, 1.6 mil damage, 1.3 mil healing. Yeah, Kevin damn it deserved it. Dude, I am still so surprised Kevin and second Kevin, the slime, were able to take down the rogue. I am so surprised he slammed the rogue as hard as he did. Kidney shot. Kevin can do anything, got no chicken, nothing. Then a blind out of the rogue. I guess Kevin, I don't know if he had immunity at that point, maybe not. And then the Kevin slime just did a little spit, took the rogue out. That was incredible. The rogue literally was with 1 health. I've never, it's kind of like those situations as a warrior.